So you're raising a family in Scottsdale, Arizona. You already know what an amazing place it is, right? You've got the sunshine, the beautiful scenery, the great communities. But, and it's a big but, all of that comes with a really high-stakes question. Where are you going to send your kids to school? It's a decision that can feel just massive. But today, we're going to break down one perspective that might help make things a little clearer. And look, you're not alone in feeling this way. You live in this incredible city that has so much to offer, and because of that, the expectations for education are just sky high. That pressure can make choosing an elementary school feel pretty intense. There are just so many options, so many things to think about. That really is the big question, isn't it? And it's what we're tackling today by digging into a source article from Alpha School. Now, to be clear, this is just one perspective, their ranking of the top 10 options for 2025. But by walking through how they did it and what they found, we can actually pull out a really useful framework for any parent just starting this whole process. Okay, so how do you bring some order to all this chaos? Well, the source article suggests starting with a clear plan. Instead of just getting lost in a sea of test scores and campus tours, they came up with a checklist to evaluate and compare schools on a more level playing field. And here it is. This is basically a toolkit for any parent. It starts with the basics, right? Academic performance, looking at test scores. Then it dives into the actual classroom experience with student-teacher ratios, because a lower ratio can mean more one-on-one attention. It also asks about curriculum and innovation. Is the school trying something new and engaging? And it doesn't forget about the social side, looking at the school's community and diversity. And finally, the practical stuff. Value and accessibility, which is all about balancing the cost with what you're actually getting. It's a great little 5-point framework to keep in your back pocket. Now, once you start applying that checklist to the schools in Scottsdale, you'll find they pretty much fall into 3 main categories, or flavors: public, private, and charter. Each one offers a different mix of those 5 factors we just talked about. Let's look at a few examples from the sources list to see how this actually plays out. This slide really lays it all out perfectly. On one end, you've got Cherokee Elementary, a fantastic public school. It's free and it has great test scores. Then you have something like Basis, which is a charter school, also free, but with this laser focus on accelerated STEM programs. And then you have a private option like Alpha School, which comes with that premium price tag but offers a really unique mastery-based learning model. You can see right away how different the paths and priorities are for each one. And this brings us right to the fundamental trade-off that the source points out. Public schools, they're free, and they often have really strong academics, but you're usually looking at larger class sizes. Private schools, on the other hand, have tuition costs, but in return, you typically get smaller classes and more specialized, innovative programs. The best choice really just depends on what your family values most. All right, with that context, let's use the source's #1 pick, Alpha School Scottsdale, as a kind of case study. We can see exactly how they apply their own checklist. We're going to unpack the specific reasons they gave to see their framework in action. The very first thing the article points to is this number, an 8-to-1 student-to-teacher ratio. Now, in elementary education, that is, wow, incredibly low. The source makes the case that this is a huge deal, creating this super personalized environment where it's pretty much impossible for a student to get lost in the shuffle. And this right here gets to the heart of the school's big innovation, what the article calls the 2-hour learning model. So the idea is they use adaptive technology for 2 hours of really intense, focused academics. This lets students master concepts at their own speed, and then, and this is the cool part, it frees up the rest of the day for hands-on projects and building other real-world skills. So when you put it all together, the source's argument for putting Alpha at #1 comes down to these key things. It's a secular program, it has that tiny 8-to-1 ratio, and it has that really unique learning model. The article also highlights its focus on diversity and practical skills, while also being upfront that, the premium tuition is definitely a major consideration. Okay, so we've seen the checklist, we've compared the different models, and we've taken a deep dive into the source's #1 choice. But now let's pivot back to what's most important here, your family, making your own decision. Because a list is just a list. It's a starting point. And this is the question that really matters. After you look at all the data and read all the rankings, you're still left with this one thought. Is the school at the top of somebody else's list really the best school for my kid? And the answer, of course, is that the real #1 school is the one that fits your family's values, your child's unique way of learning, and your budget. A ranked list is a fantastic research tool, no doubt, but that final decision, it's always deeply personal.
Because the goal isn't just to find the best school on paper, it's to find the right school for your child.